Hello all, this is lecture 3 of unit number 5th, which is power converter. This is the part of basic electrical engineering course which is offered in BTech first year in both Bikaner Technical University and Rajasthan Technical University. These are the points which we have to study within this unit, and in this lecture we are going to deal with silicon controlled rectifier. We'll go through its symbol, construction, and then after VI characteristic. Silicon controlled rectifier, which is also sometimes known as thyristor. Actually, the thyristor is the name of family. In thyristor group, we have so many devices. Actually, this name thyristor has been taken from thyratron plus transistor. From these two words, this thyristor has been made. Thyratron plus transistor. So a few words from thyratron, few words from transistor has been taken, and then the word thyristor has been coined. Actually, before this invention of semiconductor devices, we are using vacuum tube devices, and thyratron is one of the vacuum tube devices, but its size is large, and handling is not that much easy. Okay, so when we are able to design a semiconductor devices which is having the similar kind of characteristic, then the device is known as thyristor, which is having both the quality of thyratron plus transistor. Okay, and it is having so many family member of it. Like in thyristor, we have silicon controlled rectifier, we have triac, we have diac, we have GTO, we have MCT, we have Seath, etc. A number of devices are the part of this family, and the most popular semiconductor device of this family is silicon controlled rectifier, and that's why whenever we say we are going to use a thyristor in this circuit, it means we are referring to SCR. Although thyristor is the name of a particular semiconductor family devices. So what is SCR? It is 4-layer, 3-junction PNPN semiconductor switching device. It has 3 terminals. What are the name of the terminals? Anode, cathode, and gate. In diode, we have only 2 terminals, anode and cathode, but it is having 3 terminals, anode, cathode, and gate, and this is the symbolic representation. So if you see up to this point, the symbol is exactly same what we have seen in case of diode. Terminal names also anode and cathode. It is having one extra terminal which is known as gate, and that is differentiating this device to the diode. We have a gate, it means we can control this device. Through the gate, we are controlling now. Simple example, in a room, whatever gate we are having, with the help of that, we can allow somebody to come inside the room, or we can block it. So whenever we have a gate terminal, or this kind of terminal in the semiconductor devices, it means that device is going to be controlled. But this is semi-controlled device. It is not fully controlled device, semi-controlled device. What is the meaning of semiconductor controlled device? Actually, all semiconductor devices can work for two purposes. Either it will be used as a switch, and we are going to use the semiconductor device as an amplifier. So in case of power converter, we are using semiconductor devices as a switch. And we know that switch is having two states, on state and off state. If we are able to control both the state, then it is known as fully controlled device. Like in coming lectures, we are going to study bipolar junction transistor, MOSFET, IGBT. All three devices are fully controlled device. In case of diode, it is uncontrolled device. Whenever within the circuit it is forward bias, it will allow flow of current. Whenever it is reverse bias, it will not allow flow of current. So we are not having any external control over it. Its on off depends on the circuit in which it has been placed. But BJT, MOSFET, IGBT, etc., it depends or it needs our permission to be on, our permission to be off. But this device, silicon controlled rectifier, it is semi-controlled device. It means we can only control on of it, off it, off is uncontrollable. Off couldn't be controlled with the help of this gate terminal, and that's why it is known as semi-controlled device. We can control only one state of this switch. Okay, the same device is also represented by this symbol at the place of marking gate. At this point it has been marked over here, but this is the most popular symbol, so we are going to use this symbol only in our uh, subject. Now, why the name of this device is silicon controlled rectifier? Silicon, S represents silicon, it means it is made up of silicon material. C, control, it means it can be controlled. Okay, and R is taken from rectifier. It is used in rectifier circuit, and that time it was very popular. Even today also, in high voltage application, we are using silicon controlled rectifier. So this is SCR. Now let's see the construction of it. So it is having 4 layers. In case of diode, we have only 2 layers and only one PN junction. If you remember, in the beginning, in the first lecture of this unit, I said that PN junction is basic building block of all semiconductor device. So this diode is having only one junction, whereas in case of SCR, it is having 4 layers, PN, PN, and so 3 junctions, junction J1, J2, and J3, and this G terminal is connected to the P2, whereas with P1, anode terminal is connected, and with N2, this is the N2 K terminal, that means cathode is connected. Now one thing is very clear, terminal name is anode and cathode, it means current is going to flow only in this direction, and when it will flow, it will give a signal at gate. Whenever gate will be triggered, this device allow flow of current in only this direction from anode to cathode. It will not allow flow of current from cathode to anode, even we are providing the trigger signal or gate signal. Now again, I would like to focus symbol and actual device is having totally different shape. So you do not have to confuse with symbol of the device and actual shape and size of the device. So this is the SCR BT151. It is having 3 terminals out of it: cathode, anode, and gate. Now we'll go through VI characteristic of this device. So again, we can have forward bias and reverse bias characteristic of it. This is the circuit diagram of forward bias characteristic. Why we are talking about forward bias or reverse bias characteristic? Because this device is having its name anode and terminal name anode and cathode. That means it is going to be forward bias and reverse bias. Okay, so we have to apply positive voltage to the anode terminal. What we have done at this place, and this we have done by connecting a series resistance just to control the maximum amount of current which can go through this device. We have to measure 2 things: current through the device and voltage across the device, VAK, anode cathode voltage and anode current. And to get a number of points, we need to make these voltages variable. At gate also, since without trigger, this device is not going to be on, so we have to apply a voltage at gate also. So this is the VI characteristic. If suppose I'm giving 0 volt from this place, so gate voltage is 0. We can consider this case IG 0. So gate current, actually it is current control device. Through the gate terminal, we have to give a sufficient amount of current, then only it will be turned on. So this time, this current IG is 0. We are talking about the first equation when IG is 0. That time, if I'm changing this voltage from 0 to maximum value, so we'll get only a very small leakage current which will pass through the device. We can neglect that also. And zero current, this device is not going to allow flow of current. Okay, but if we'll go further, then a point will come after that voltage, breakdown will happen in this junction, and then it will allow a flow of current, and this current will start increasing. When it will reach to this point, suddenly the device will go in conduction mode. But if we are operating the device after breakdown, there is a large possibility that device will burn out. So we have to avoid this condition. We never have to operate the device after breakdown. Now, why breakdown is needed? Why it is not allowing flow of current? So these are the 4 layers. This is the P1, this is N1, this is P2, and this is N2. This is gate terminal, this is anode, and this one is cathode. Okay, so if I'm applying positive voltage at anode with respect to cathode, so what will happen? This junction J1 will be forward bias, this J2 will be reverse bias, this is a reverse bias junction, this is forward bias junction, and this J3 will also be reverse bias. So we are having two junctions, forward bias. So we have two junctions forward bias and one junction reverse bias. That means the blocking of current is happening due to this junction number 2. So if I'm not giving any gate current, this amount of gate current is 0. It means uh, this junction will not allow flow of current from anode to cathode due to its reverse bias nature. And if I'm exceeding the applied voltage, then breakdown will happen in this reverse bias junction. Breakdown always happens in reverse bias junction. In forward bias junction, there is no meaning of breakdown. Breakdown happens in reverse bias junction. So in this reverse bias junction, at a certain voltage, breakdown happens. This is known as VBO, breakover voltage. Okay, breakdown will happen over this voltage. Okay, and then it will allow flow of current. Now suppose we are changing this voltage at the place of 0 volt. I am giving 5 volt to it. So there will be some current, gate current. Let us consider that gate current is IG1. So what will happen if I am changing this voltage from 0 to certain voltage, suppose 200 volt. So initially only leakage current will flow, and suddenly this current will increase, and the moment this current will increase to this parameter which is known as IL is the latching current, it will go into the conduction mode. Okay, here we have dotted line because practically we are not able to find the transition from this point to this area. This transition practically is we are not able to determine, and that's why we do plot it by dotted line. We are considering that okay, from this change from this point to this point happens through this dotted line, but we do not know the exact path by which it is coming from this point to this point. Okay, so up to this area, similarly again we are increasing the current, gate current, fastly the device will be on. Again we are increasing the gate current, again fastly the device will on, but there will be maximum current limit, gate current limit, otherwise this gate junction will burn out. Now this area where current is increasing in a very small amount, that region is known as forward blocking mode. That means this time junction is forward biased. That means a device is forward biased, but it is not allowing sufficient amount of flow of current or needed amount of flow of current, and so this region is known as forward blocking mode. This is known as forward conduction mode, where device is fully on and it is allowing the actual amount of flow of current. And here you can see the Ig3 is greater than Ig1 is greater than Ig2 is greater than Ig1, which is greater than Ig0. Okay, and if we'll reverse bias this device, the characteristic is similar to the diode characteristic. This is the reverse breakdown voltage, after which breakdown will happen. And if we make the reverse bias this junction, that means we are applying positive potential to the cathode with respect to anode. Then the two junctions, which are the forward bias in case of this circuit diagram, both will be reverse bias, and this junction J2 will be forward bias. So due to the two reverse bias junction, current will not go. Even will give the gate current, then also it will not allow flow of current. Now, why just after giving the gate current, this device is going to be on very easily? So this we can understand with the help of construction. What happens whenever we are going to give the gate current? It means current will circulate in this manner. Current will circulate in this manner, and this is the reverse bias junction. This is the J2 junction, which is reverse bias. So if current is going in this manner, it means electrons will go just in reverse direction. And what happened that due to this current, huge amount of electrons come near to this reverse bias junction, and we know that if within P region electrons will come, it will decrease the strength of that junction, and due to this decreased strength of this J2 junction participate in breakdown, but not actually on the maximum volt, not at the maximum voltage. It is going to break at a very small voltage, and it depends on the amount of current. If current is Ig1, breakdown will happen at little larger voltage. If breakdown gate current is higher, breakdown will happen with slight lower voltage. And if again current we are increasing, again breakdown will happen at low voltage, and so device will be turned on faster. Okay, and this breakdown in junction J2 is not happening at its maximum level, so it will not be burnout. Okay, so this way we are going to turn on the device. Reverse bias characteristic is exactly same as what we have seen in the diode, and obviously there will be change in circuit diagram. At the place of this voltage, we are going to apply the voltage in this manner. And uh, if I'm changing the this voltage like this, then it is circuit diagram for reverse bias characteristic, and it is also known as this characteristic portion of this characteristic graph is known as reverse blocking mode. So we have forward blocking mode, we have reverse blocking, forward conduction mode, and then reverse blocking mode. Now, two important points we have in case of this VI characteristic of silicon controlled rectifier. The first point is IL, which is known as latching current. So what is latching current? Latching current of forward bias SCR is the minimum current which anode current must attain to continue to remain in forward conduction mode even when gate current is removed. Okay, what is the meaning of it? Suppose this current is increased at this point. What is this? This current is a node current, which is coming from here to here, and Ig we are giving from this terminal, which is fixed, which value is Ig3. Maybe it is 5 milliampere or 7 milliampere or 10 milliampere. So this current is increasing. Why it is increasing? Because we are increasing this voltage. And at this point, I'm removing this gate current. I'm making this gate current equal to 0. So what will happen? Device will not go from this blocking mode to conduction mode. It will return back. That means it will remain in blocking mode. It means device will remain off. So to turn on the device, this point must be attained, which is known as latching current. If anode current will increase beyond the latching current, device will go into forward conduction mode, and now it will be on. Even we will remove this circuit, the device will remain in forward conduction mode, and the minimum amount of anode current after which device go into fully conduction mode, that is known as latching current. Now we know that with the help of this gate, we can't turn off the device. So how we can turn off it? So there is only one way to do it. By hook and crook, we have to reduce this anode current below a certain point. And the name of that point is holding current. So what is holding current? Holding current of an SCR or thyristor is the minimum value of current below which anode current must fall to come in off state. That means anode current, suppose device is working at this point, that means this much anode current is flowing through the device, and I have to turn off this device. So what I am going to do, one way is or by any way we have to reduce this anode current. Okay, suppose I am decreasing this voltage to reduce this anode current. So what will happen? This device will come here. This device now amount of current will come at this point. This point, even amount of current is coming equal to latching current or slightly below the latching current, then also device will not be off. The device is going to be off if anode current is going below the holding current. Okay, so here device will be off and current will become 0. So we have these two important points, and practically the value of latching current, it is also clear from this graph, value of latching current is always greater than the value of holding current. So again I am repeating, what is the latching current? So latching current is the current after which device go into fully conduction mode. And what is holding current? Holding current is the amount of a anode current below which device is going to be off. It means when we are turning on the SCR, the associated point is latching current. Whenever we are turning off the SCR, that time associated current point is holding current. Okay, when we are turning the device on, holding current has no meaning. When we are turning off the device, latching current has no meaning. So you have to remember these 2 points. At the same time, which is clear from this graph also, that latching current is always higher than holding current. So we'll stop over here. In the next lecture, we are going to see bipolar junction transistor, which is known as BJT. Thank you.